before we start the course, a word about video clarity. Now this video course was recorded in high definition, but on some computers it might look like it isn't. Now if you can't see it clearly in high definition, if it looks a little bit fuzzy, then please click the high definition button near the bottom of your video. It's to the right of the time bar and it's HD. It might be very difficult to see, it might be black on black almost. Click that and the quality will improve enormously. Right, thank you, and let's start the course. Right, so we've opened up Microsoft Word. Now the first thing to say is I'm using the latest version of Word, which is Word 2016 at the time of recording, also known as Word 365. Don't worry if you don't have the latest version of Word. What I'm going to show will work exactly the same if you've got Word 2013, Word 2010 and Word 2007. And the greatest difference in Word 2007 is that instead of having the File menu over here, you have what's called the Office menu, which is a big circle, and that gets you into the File menu. But apart from that, most of the things are identical, and basically everything I'm going to tell you is identical. So let's get some words into this, and I'm going to type equals rand open brackets 10, 20 close brackets, press enter. Right. That's a neat little trick for getting some random text. So if you are doing a big document like I'm doing here, so anything more than just a letter, this is what, 3-page document, 4-page document, 5-page document. This, quite frankly, looks boring. You don't want to read it, I don't want to read it, it just goes on and on and on. In PowerPoint, there's such a thing as death by PowerPoint, where you've just got slide after slide of text and you're basically reading the text in the presentation. And in Word, it is just a huge number of words and nothing to break it up. So what you often do is use headings. For instance, this could be my chapter heading. And then this is my subheading. And then later on we have another subheading. But it still looks fairly bland, so you try and spruce it up. You maybe put bold on, you put it in a different colour, you make it a bit bigger, and then you have to do the same with the subheading, so make it maybe not quite as bold, and maybe a different colour, and maybe this one is, the first one's underlined, say, and then I've got to go down and do it to the next one. Well, there are several ways that Microsoft allow you to keep such things in synchronization to make it easy for you to apply, say, what's here to here. And what I'm going to show you first of all is a very simple way. I can say I want what's in this paragraph to be replicated in this paragraph. So what we do is we select the paragraph that we're going from. So this is the correct style. I click a Format Painter up here in the Home menu, so one click, and I go down and I click where I want it to go. And it's as easy as that. So if I have another heading, it's like a can of paint, and you can see that it's called Format Painter. It's a bit like a paintbrush. First of all, imagine you've got a paint brush in your hand. First of all, you need to apply paint on. So I'm getting the paint from here. So I'll click the Format Painter, and then I need to apply it somewhere. Well, I'm going to apply it to this subheading. And it's as quick as easy as that. There's no need to actually faff about with trying to remember what you did. It's size 12, it's this particular blue, not this other blue. There's no need for that. However, if you did want to investigate what formatting you've got on a particular paragraph, then a very quick way is to press Shift and F1. So let's do that now. And we have Reveal Formatting pane come up on the right hand side. And we can see that this is the default font. It's 12 point. We have a particular font. It's called Accent 1. And if I hover over it, you can see it highlighted there. It says Blue Accent 1. And you can see about paragraph and all sorts of other things. So if I go to another plate, you can see this is size 11. And if I was to go to our very big heading, then you see it's 16 and bold and underlined and red. So that is Shift and F1. And this reveals this Reveal Formatting pane, and you can use it as much as you want to find out what you've done. And you can also use the Format Painter to apply from one paragraph to another. So in just a few minutes, I've shown you a way of using the same sort of style over and over again. In the next video, I'll show you an even better way. Now, this is okay, it's a one-off manual process, but what if I change my subheading here and I make it now green, let's say? That will not affect any of the other subheadings, so I've got to now apply the same formatting to all of these headings. Instead, however, I can say this is a subheading, and this is a subheading, and this is a subheading. And once I've said all of these are subheadings, once I've told the computer they're all subheadings, if I then change what I mean by subheading, so at the moment I'm saying maybe subheading is blue, but if I suddenly now say subheading equals green, then that will change all of the subheadings all at once. In the entire document, you might have a 99-page document, and suddenly everything changes from blue to green, at least all of the subheadings. You could then also have headings saying that they are red and underlined, but later on you might say, actually I want them centered aligned or right aligned, and I want to change the paragraph, and I want to add a bullet numbering, that sort of thing. Well, you can do it once and have it automatically apply everywhere. So the easiest way, first of all, the styles are all in this style section in the home menu. And the most frequently used ones are normal. The normal style is your standard style. So you are using a style and you didn't even know it. If you change the normal style, then everything based on the normal style changes. Now, heading 1 and heading 2 are also the most frequently used styles. Now notice, I'm just hovering over heading 1 and look over what happens over here. It shows you what it would look like. This is a preview of heading 1. And heading 2 is like the subheading. Now these are just standard word names for heading and subheading. So I'm going to just click heading 1. Notice I'm not even highlighting the entire paragraph. I'm just clicking heading 1. And what happens, well, you can see in the reveal text what it thinks heading 1 is. You've got different paragraph styles. I'll just undo that so you can see before and after. So it now changes what the definition of heading 1 is. Oh, sorry, it now changes your definition of what this top paragraph is to heading 1. So I can go on this subheading and I can click heading 2. And I can go down and click subheading 2, so heading 2 again, and heading 2 again down here. So now I have told the computer that this is my main heading, heading 1, and this is my subheading, heading 2, and I've got 2 other heading 2s. Now I can change what heading 1 and heading 2 actually mean. If I right and click on heading 2, I can go to modify. So I'll click modify, and you can see that there's a whole range of things. So if I change, for instance, the font color from blue to green and click OK, that now changes what the definition of heading 2 is. And that doesn't just change it for that one paragraph, it's changed it for all of the heading 2s wherever they are in the document. So if I notice, I'm going to click not on a heading here, I'm going to click on some of this text, and I'll just right and click on heading 2, go to modify and change it to red. And even though I'm nowhere near an actual heading 2, all of the heading 2s change to red. Now there are a lot of ways you can change. These are quick ways, and these in the format we've got some more things: fonts, paragraphs, tabs, borders, numbering and shortcut keys, very important, to name just a few. And it would take me to do a proper investigation of styles, hour and a half, 2 hours to go through every single option. I don't propose to do that now. Another way of changing what heading 1 and heading 2 is to actually change an example. So here we have an example of a heading 2, and I'm going to change it so that it is very big, center aligned. Notice all of this changes. And I'm going to apply a nice background to it, and I'm going to put it in a box. So all the way around, all borders, there we go. Now this hasn't actually changed heading 2. I mean, you can see down here we have another heading 2 and it remains unaffected. I've just changed this to one particular instance. But now I can say I like what I've done. I want heading 2 to be like this. And the quickest way of doing that is to right and click on heading 2 and say update heading 2 to match the selection. So I've selected what I want heading 2 to look like, and now I'm updating heading 2 to match this, what I've highlighted. So previously we updated heading 2 and all of the heading 2s changed. Now we're updating one particular one, and we're saying now heading 2 is going to look like this throughout. So I click update heading 2 to match selection, and look, it's done it for all of the heading 2s. Now, you remember I said you can modify normal? Well, if I modify that and make it all 9, and make it 9 point, that is, and make it 1.5 lined, and make it right justified, and click OK. Look what's happened. It's done it for the entirety of the document. And the reason it's done that is because this main text is actually your normal. And all of these are based on normal and add a few things. And you can see that by going to modify and saying this style is based on normal. So when I changed normal, it changed the heading 1 and heading 2, except for those bits that I overwrote. So for instance, I've said that this is size 16. So my definition of heading 1 in that sense hasn't changed. Me saying heading 1 is size 16 and me saying normal is size 9, well, heading 1 remains 16. But I didn't say heading 1 is left justified. Instead, I've said normal is right justified and heading 1 is based on normal. If all of this is getting a bit complicated, don't worry. I suggest that you just update normal if you want to right at the beginning, and then you don't have to worry about that. But basically, anything you say to heading 1 will apply to heading 1, and anything you say to normal will apply to normal plus heading 1 and heading 2. Now, if this is all getting really complicated, don't worry about it. Don't modify normal if you don't want to. Just use heading 1 and heading 2, and then you'll be able to modify heading 1 and heading 2 to your heart's content. And then you can reuse it time and time again. And that's really what this course is all about. Finding ways of reusing something time and time again, so you can then free up your own time to do your work, which is actually composing the document. Because spending time on formatting is very time consuming. So why not let the computer help you with this? Now, if we had a lot more time, there's a lot of detail I could get into about styles. For instance, I could get into the fact that you could number the headings. So this could be like your chapter 1. And this is my subheading 1.1, the next subheading 1.2, 1.3. I could get into the fact that you could use these numberings or the chapter headings in cross-referencing. So for instance, I could say, and I talked about this in my previous chapter, brackets, see chapter 2 above. And then if I inserted another new chapter 1, it would then say see chapter 3 above. It would keep track of where your chapters are. I could create indexes, table of contents using headings. That's a very quick and easy thing that you could do now you've set up headings. Lots I can do, but that gives you a taster of styles. So let's move on to the next topic.